Out of the 100 B-1B Lancers that were built, 45 are expected to still be operational in 2022. A total of 17 B-1Bs will be retired by the U.S. Air Force in February 2021. A further 4 will be stored in case they are needed as a backup. Eventually, the B-21 Raider, which will replace the B-2 Spirit and B-52, will progressively replace the B-1B, which the Air Force plans to keep in service until 2036. Despite its problematic past and rocky beginning, the B-1B will remain in service with the United States Air Force for the time being. A long-range multi-role bomber, the B-1B is capable of flying missions across continents without refueling, while also breaching enemy defenses, both actual and predicted. It's capable of serving as a conventional weapons carrier in theater operations, among other things. As part of a single integrated operating strategy, the B-1 remained dedicated to nuclear deterrence until 1991. Electronic jamming technology, infrared countermeasures, and other radar detection and warning systems are used in conjunction with the B-1B's low radar cross-section and integrated defense system. Additionally, the bomber's survivability is boosted by its swing-wing design and turbofan engines. This allows for a short takeoff roll and rapid base escape in the event of an attack on an airfield. After taking to the skies, the wings are positioned for maximum range and speed. The B-1B holds multiple global speed, payload, and distance records. The B-1B was named one of the top 10 most memorable record flights of 1994 by the National Aeronautic Association. Pilots of the B-1B may fly around without relying on ground-based navigational aids because of the plane's usage of radar and internal navigation systems. Military personnel can quickly diagnose and replace malfunctioning components of the B-1B offensive avionics on the ground thanks to modular electronics that are included in the system. It's long been a habit among military aircrew pilots and ground crew to give their aircraft nicknames that are distinct from the official designation of the manufacturer or the government agency that purchased them. Because of this, the A-10 Thunderbolt II is known as the Warthog and the F-16 Fighting Falcon as the Viper, while the B-1B is known as the Bone. The B-1B is a significant improvement over the B-52, the former workhorse of the U.S. bomber fleet, in terms of long-range capability. Among the many advantages, some are low radar cross-section, making detection much more difficult and challenging. It allows a larger payload to be flown at a lower altitude, and high-tech countermeasures to increase one's chances of survival. Rockwell International, now part of Boeing Integrated Defense Systems, created the Bone, which had its first flight on December 23, 1974. With a maximum range of 6,500 nautical miles or 12,000 kilometers and a combat range of 2,393 nautical miles, the plane could carry a 25-ton bomb load, making it one of the most powerful bombers of its day. The plane that nearly killed Saddam Hussein. The Bone was ultimately blooded in battle 12 years after her benefactors at the White House and Congress resurrected her. The USAF fact sheet states that the B-1B bomber made its first combat appearance in 1998 during Operation Desert Fox. 6 B-1s were used in Operation Allied Force in 1999, delivering more than 20% of the total weapons, while only flying less than 2% of the combat sorties. In the first 6 months of Operation Enduring Freedom, 8 B-1 bombers dropped almost 40% of all coalition Air Force payload. A total of 3,900 JDAMs were included in this analysis. According to the Air Force Times, only 1% of combat missions during Operation Iraqi Freedom involved JDAMs. The 34th Bomb Squadron of the 28th Air Wing, stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, flew an important operation during Operation Iraqi Freedom, or OIF, in April of 2003. Officially referred to as a leadership target, the goal was to murder Saddam Hussein and remove him from power. Unfortunately, despite their best efforts, they nearly missed him. The B-1B was originally planned to replace the B-52, known as the Buff. That, however, was not the case. Air Force Global Strike Command, or AFGSC, retired 17 Lancers last year, 13 of which were transported to the Boneyard at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona near Tucson, where they will remain inactive while the Buff continues to serve. The USAF has not yet specified when it plans to retire the 45 remaining Lancers from the original order of 100. Not every retiring bone is headed to the boneyard, which is great news for aviation history enthusiasts. One of the 17 warbirds that have been decommissioned from service is still on display at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. The B-1B Lancer's history. The B-1B Lancer was developed in response to a request from the U.S. Air Force for a bomber capable of flying at Mach 2 speed with the same payload as the B-52. The North American XB-70 Valkyrie was originally chosen, but due to Soviet surface-to-air missiles, a transition from high to low-level flight was required. The XB-70 had a shorter low-level range than the B-52 despite its higher speed. For this lower-level range role, Rockwell was granted the task of constructing a new supersonic bomber. Ultimately, a high-altitude B-1A with Mach 2.2 and Mach 0.85 low-altitude capability was born. The testing process for 4 prototypes had just begun. Due to rising expenses, the arrival of the AGM-86 missile and a new stealth bomber program in 1977 put an end to the B-1A project. At first, it looked as if the B-1A was doomed to extinction in the face of the Soviet MiG-31 because it was easy to shoot down as a B-52. Springing back to life. President Reagan restarted the B-1 program in 1981, and the new plane would be called the B-1B. The new aircraft's top speed would be Mach 1.25 at high altitudes, but Mach 0.86 at low altitudes. On October 18, 1984, the B-1B first flew with its share of critics. Most people assumed that a B-52 with similar electronics to the B-1B could avoid the Soviet radar, but the fact was that the B-1B could carry more payload. In the following years, the B-1B would earn its reputation as a unique and noteworthy bomber. As the aircraft's speed increased, the wings would sweep back toward the body of the aircraft, creating a swing-wing effect. In order to reach its top speed of 830 miles per hour, the aircraft is powered by 4 General Electric F-101 GE-102 afterburning turbofans. After a successful testing run, the B-1B would enter service with the Strategic Air Command in June 1985. The second production, B-1B produced, called the Star of Abilene, was subsequently given the honor of becoming the first service B-1B. The B-1B didn't have the best start to its career. It was unable to participate in the Gulf War because of its engine difficulties, although they were initially employed for strategic nuclear missions, offering a deterrent against the Soviet Union. The B-52 would be the aircraft of choice for service in the Gulf War. The B-1B was also employed in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom and in the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Consider the world's numerous armed aviation forces, and one thing becomes immediately clear: strategic bombers are losing their popularity. Aircraft like the F-35 Lightning or Eurofighter Typhoon, which are multi-role ground attack machines, no longer carry out most bombing missions performed by large heavy bombers. However, several air forces still consider that a large strategic bomber capable of delivering large payloads to a specific target is necessary. Even today, Russia's Tu-95 Bear, Tu-22M Backfire, and Tu-160 Blackjack aircraft are still in service. However, the United States has a fleet of strategic bombers. The B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, Boeing B-52 Stratofortress, and the Rockwell B-1B Lancer are just a few of the aircraft on display. The Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider, which will eventually replace the B-1B Lancer as the only operational supersonic strategic bomber, will be in service for at least another 10 years. As of right present, the B-1B Lancer is unquestionably the best supersonic bomber in existence. What do you guys have to say about this terrifying supersonic bomber? Leave a comment below. That's all for today. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon for any new updates. See you in the next one.